Power BI for on-premises reporting solutions. So I will try and go as quickly as possible wherever it is required and slow wherever it is required again, and I will try and open up some time to ask for dedicate some time for Q&A sessions, so that it will be a kind of a session where you can get your questions clarified. Okay, moving on. I'm not sure how many of you have used Power BI for on-premises, since it's a very brand new product. We have this Power BI now available for our on-premises solutions as well, but not with 100% of the flexibility and features that is available from cloud-based Power BI via app.powerbi.com. Okay, let's get started. The sponsors for our event are Microsoft Pass and Teachio. Thanks to our sponsors. And about myself, I am Dr. Subramani Paramasivam, in short Manny. I'm a data platform MVP, I'm an MCT, as well as I'm also a Power BI group leader for both PAS and the Microsoft. I'm a frequent speaker. I've spoken in PAS Summits, SQL Beats, SQL Saturdays, MCT Summits, SQL Server Geek Summit, Data Platform Summits, and SQL Relay Summits, and there are various other summits that's happening as well around the world, so I can't accommodate them all here. These are some of my certifications, and you can follow me on these social media stuff. My response will be a bit slower, but I will still try and respond as quickly as possible. This is also one of the events which I'm trying to promote. So this is a data awareness program which is purely targeted towards students, teachers and parents who are purely kind of a non-technical background. So what basically we're trying to do is we're trying to improvise and help people to understand better data within their lives, and how can they make it transform to have a potential visualizations in future. So for that we are trying to run this event. So you can visit dataap.org and you can see what are the events that happen, and you can also try and propose if you need one event to happen in your place. Alright, let's move on to the roadmap of the Power BI reporting services. I'm sure most of you have been a big fan of Power BI. Power BI has attracted not just the ITBI professionals, but also management professionals who wants to build their own report and share it to anyone else, who they want to require to. In that way, Power BI has been very successful in the last 2 years. And as you can see, the Power BI roadmap, the reporting services, this is for on-premises solution. We had a first preview which was released in May, and then we had a full availability of Power BI reporting services released in June. This is a general availability, which means it can be utilized for our on-premises solutions. We already have SQL Server reporting services, and we can also have a Power BI reporting services in the same machine, and this is purely for on-premises. But it comes with a licensing fact, which I will talk about the licensing in future slides. And we then had Power BI reporting services for August preview. So what's the difference between June and also August? So with the June edition, we can build a Power BI report, not a dashboard, a Power BI report purely for on-premises based data sources. But that data source must be modeled within the analysis services as the main layer, and you can only write a Power BI report against the analysis services as the data source. So this was a huge restriction. If anyone wants to build a report against a simple Excel or a SQL Server or Oracle, they have to bring the data, everything into analysis services, model them up, and then they have to write a report. So this created an additional stuff where many of the Power BI users couldn't do that. But this is not the end of the war. So that's why we then have August preview to showcase that the on-premises Power BI report server can not only report against analysis services, but also against any other data sources directly without writing any analysis services cubes. And people have got the August preview. It is not a must that they have to upgrade, but it does have its own limitations since it's a preview version. The general availability of these Power BI reporting services was initially scoped to be released in December, but there are rumors now happening that we will have it in another week or two within November itself, which is a very great response from Microsoft for all the time that we kept raising the issues that whatever we had, and the reason why we need the general availability as soon as possible. So which means now it does support more data sources, and you don't need SSAS at all, but you still can report again as SSAS. So that's a great feature what we have with the Power BI reporting services roadmap. Talking about the report server itself, what does it have? So as you can see with the introduction, so we have the report server instance. So what does this report server instance cover? If you have worked with SQL Server reporting services, it is the same as Power BI reporting services as well. So they both have the same. They both are for enterprise reporting. And as of now, with June general availability, it does accept only SSAS as the data source. And unfortunately, we can have only one instance in a single server. So if you take a reporting server, like I said, within the same instance, you can have the reporting server as well as Power BI reporting server. But with the Power BI RS, you can have only one at a time. As you can see to the right, you see the look and feel of how this would be there. If you have seen SQL Server reporting services with 2016 edition, exactly it would look like the same. But in the top left corner, you can see the Power BI logo and it says Power BI Report Server. That's the difference. And with the reporting services instance, you can't host a Power BI report on it, or you can't publish a report into that one. Whereas with this, you can have all of them. Like as you can see, you can have the Power BI reports on the top, then you also have mobile reports. And you can have your KPIs and also the paginated reports. Then the components, whatever it involves, is like the Power BI report server where you're going to install it, plus the Power BI desktop where you're going to design your reports. So with the June edition, this is the instance ID in the product version, service, and what is the logon account by default is configured whenever you install your Power BI on-premises reporting server. Next, let's talk about the August preview. So with the August preview, you can easily upgrade your existing June general availability edition, and it does accept all data sources. But again, this has limitations. The limitations are, so when we talk about the limitations, these are the general feature that is available. Sorry, these are the general features that are available with the Power BI reporting services. But with the limitations, these are not applicable with August preview version. And it does not help with scheduling the data refresh. You can't import, you can't do a scale-out environment, you can't have a direct query data, and if the report you're going to build, it must not be more than 50 MB. It should be always less than 50 MB. And by default, when you install your August preview version, so these are the default installation details that you see in the right side of table of figures. Next, and also talk about some additional August preview version. So this August preview does also support, on top of already existing whatever it supported in June edition, with Office Online Server. So which means, as you can see in the screenshot, usually in those days with the reporting services, you can upload your RDLs, you can have your data sources. Not sure whether how many of you have seen that we can have Excel or Word document can be uploaded to our reporting services instance, like how we do for the SharePoint. But with the SharePoint, you can manage everything, any kind of files. But people do not know that we still can do that with the Power BI, with the regular SQL Server reporting services. But every time a user clicks on it, it tries to download to the local file and then open it up. Whereas now, with this new feature, the Power BI report server within the browser, you can open the Excel file here. So that's a very good option. And Microsoft heard so many problems hearing from the customers, and now they have adopted everything into the reporting instance, which is a great fact. Now let's see the benefits that we are going to get with Power BI RS. We do not need to really think that this is a brand new platform and we need to have specialized skills, because if you already have experience with SQL Server reporting services, this makes our life much more easier, because the setup and configuration is exactly the same as what we had with reporting server instance. And you will also have a SQL Server database for reporting instance specifically for PBIRS, which means within the same instance, you can have report server and report server temp DB for your report server instance. And for Power BI, you can also have the Power BI report server and Power BI reporting DB temp DB for that. And you can also customize the web portal similar to SSRS. If you have already had some good understanding of the SQL Server 2016 reporting services web portal, how it would work. Exactly, it is the same. It will work for 2017's this Power BI on-premises reporting services as well. So you don't need to worry about that. And you can scale to more than thousands of users, and it is based on a proven enterprise-grade platform. Not just that, with this PBRS, like I said earlier, it can manage all report elements under one roof. So the page unit reports, KPIs, mobile reports, Power BI reports, and like I said, you still can upload your Excel files or Word document or anything on top of that. Next, let's talk about licensing. So if anyone who wants to have a Power BI on-premises based version, then they need to have a Power BI premium license. It's going to cost a bit for those who do not have any license. For example, if somebody have got a SQL Server Enterprise Edition with the software assurance, with an active software assurance, then they get a free Power BI premium license to host. That's a very great news for many people, because there are so many companies and organizations who do not have SA enabled, an active SA with their Enterprise Edition, but now they are seriously thinking about to have an active SA, which makes everyone's life easier. So Power BI premium license, you're good to do, and you can do everything whatever you want to do for on-premises. Next, as you can see, this is a simple screenshot of the installation file of Power BI Desktop. We talked about two components. One is the Power BI server, the other one is the Power BI Desktop. So the Power BI Desktop is purely optimized to build reports and to deploy to our on-premises reporting server. As you can see on this screenshot, it says welcome to Microsoft Power BI Desktop June 2017 setup wizard. But this is, if you see the second line, the setup wizard will install Microsoft Power BI Desktop for June 2017 on your computer, and purely optimized only for Power BI Report Server, which is in the second paragraph. And as you can see, you can have both Power BI desktops installed in the same machine. And once you have created a report within the Power BI desktop based on the June 2017 edition, you can save it as into your Power BI report server. So this feature is not available with your regular Power BI desktop, which you usually design for your on-premise, for your cloud-based reports. And once you click on this Power BI report server, then you'll get this screen to see what is your actual URL for your on-premises Power BI report server. You simply give the full location of the folder of the URL, and as well as with the folder, and hit on OK, and your reports will be deployed to your on-premises reporting solution. Okay, so any questions so far? I'm on time. I made sure to complete these in about 20 minutes, so we're almost there for completion of these within 20 minutes. I also have a virtual machine where I can take a quick demo to show you about how the Power BI reporting service can sit within the on-premises. So this is the simple look and feel of how a Power BI report server will have in your on-premises. As you can see, this does have the same features like the favorites and browse, which you had with your on-premises reporting service SQL Server 2016. Here you have your KPIs. There's no change with that. And you also have this Power BI reports. So you cannot deploy a Power BI report, but you can pin within the SQL Server 2016. And now with 2017's version, you can now upload your Power BI report and you can execute within the same portal. That's a very cool feature. And you can still have all your mobile reports, and also you can upload your page-generated reports. People may ask many questions to say, okay, so this looks almost similar to our SQL Server 2017 reporting services or 2016 reporting services. Does it mean the Power BI report server is going to replace the SQL Server reporting services? There is no good answer for this. But what we can say is that all people who require a Power BI premium license to have this Power BI reporting server, for them, they can use the Power BI reporting server. If they don't have a Power BI premium license, if they still wanted to host all other reports like mobile reports, KPI, and page-generated reports, they can use their already existing license with the SQL Server reporting server. But the only option that you have is you can have them both in the same server, or you can move on to have a separate premium license if at all you had your already enterprise edition software assurance with software assurance enabled. As of now, I have implemented at least to 6 of my clients with on-premises Power BI reporting server because I managed to secure to push them to buy SQL 2016 Enterprise Edition with SCA, with Active SCA for them. So because of that, now they got the premium license and they're really very happy. But they were not a bit happy and a bit grumpy for some reasons because the June edition did not support more than analysis services, which means like it put some hefty measures on hefty efforts at their end to get the resources upgraded with some analysis tablet model skills. And for that they have to wait for the next edition, and it kind of burned some time. But no companies they cannot keep 100% all fits one, so that kind of solution is not available. So we are scaling up, we are still working on plenty of things. And even with these on-premises reporting services, this does support everything to do with Power BI. But if you see one-to-one feature compared to cloud-based on-premises, so cloud-based Power BI to on-premises based Power BI, we still have many features which are not available for on-premises solutions. And there is a fact behind it why it can't work. Because the cloud-based version, Microsoft hosted everything in a very big, large data center. So which means it does have hundreds of servers to compute and to visualize, to do dashboarding, KPI tiles and everything that is all available in that. To build or to replicate similar thing in our on-premises, it is going to be really, really, very expensive, which is not advisable at all. So for that reason, we have decided to do whatever we can do with this one. But Microsoft is still working on how we can really get this maximum features opened up for the on-premises versions, which is now upcoming anyway. So I'm going to open a simple report for you to see how a Power BI report can be opened. I'm opening that in another window. So this is one of the custom visual created within the Power BI desktop itself, and also you can see once you have opened, you can simply click on edit in Power BI desktop to go and modify the data sources on that. And again, this is a simple report. As you can know, Power BI does also support the laptop version as well as the mobile version. But there are certain things that you need to really open up for making your on-premises version of Power BI to be enabled for mobile. And some of the mobile reports that you already have here is I can just open up one of these, just in case if you have not seen SQL Server 2016 and the way it works. So this was once upon a time it was called a data center product. Microsoft acquired this product and embedded it into the reporting server instance. So this is totally interactive. I have sold SQL Server 2016 for at least about 3 customers just by showing these samples. Do you believe that? And that is because they always had in their mindset that SQL Server reporting services is a very boring tool for them. It is not interactive compared to ClickView, and it is not definitely good compared to Tableau. So there are plenty of tools in the market which makes everyone's life much easier, but also the cost of the licenses are really very expensive. As you can see here, I can simply drag and drop and other stuffs, and everything changes on its own just like that. Now if I'm trying to resize the browser, let's say I'm trying to resize this browser to fit into tablet format, the look and feel of the reports would change automatically. I'm just trying to resize it again. I'm not getting my... Okay, that's happening. So okay, so that's good. This is kind of a tablet view. Now let's try and change this design, size of the browser into mobile format. So you can see every single component, but most of the components will be disappeared, but it's still, it adapts to the size of the window, whatever you're resizing to. So this is a very great success of Microsoft by getting into BI edition, and even in the plenty of areas, BI has been a very great product from Microsoft. And Gartner have released, Microsoft have been a visionary in this product and is leading #1 for database platform as well. That's a very great information and proud moment for us to use this Microsoft product. Okay, so let's get back. Sorry. Okay, so this is the actual platform that you can see. And if you have configured your reporting services configuration manager, this is something what you would do for your Power BI reporting server as well. There is no change in this. Everything is as simple as what we had with reporting server. So this report server configuration manager, as you can see, is configured for PBARS, and it says this is the Power BI report server. It's an evaluation edition. This is the information. So you can still have your configuration done for your service accounts. It is the same. There is no change, and you also can configure your web service URL. And going into databases, I can see the database is saying pointing to the Power BI report server. And you can have your web portal URL. Again, it still does have a feature of Power BI service for a cloud, which means like if you can still pin up some of the Power BI desktops. When you click on it, it does take you directly to your Power BI cloud-based versions. So the options are still open. It is up to us on what we're going to choose and what we're not going to choose. And I hope with this you do understand what on-premises Power BI report service can do for you and how you can bring your skills to the next level. And you can speak to your organization on what we can make use of it and how to utilize this in our already existing reporting services environment. If you have any questions after these sessions, please do drop an email again to info@daytube.com. It's in the same slide text what I have shared earlier. Is there any other questions that I can answer you for now? Okay, so with that, I will end this session and pass on to Harry to do the next session then. Thank you all.